As far as we know, after the world reached its current average temperatures, sometimes the temperatures increased and sometimes decreased due to various factors. But the main question that researchers are wondering is, why did the last ice age end, and will the next ice age be affected by current climate conditions? As you know, the world has risen many times over the average temperature of the world, especially after the Industrial Revolution, and this has only happened in the last 50 years. Let's start with this first. How is the world entering the ice age? We now know 5 reasons that caused the world to enter the ice age, but these are not just the only reason. They generally work together to reduce the temperature on the Earth. These are as follows. 1. Milankovitch Cycles. Identify patterns in Earth's orbit and axial tilt. Over time, our planet's orbit around the Sun changes from being more circular to more egg-shaped. At the same time, our planet's axis tends to both tilt and wobble. Since these factors reduce the heat received by the world, they allow the world to cool. You can ask here, when will the next glacier diameter be? These Milankovitch cycles happen every 100,000 years. Researchers say the next ice age will be in 1,500 years, but CO2 and greenhouse gas effects could affect the cooling of the Earth. 2. Earth's atmosphere. Actually, we talked about this in Milankovitch cycles, but in Milankovitch cycles, it's hard to say for the Earth's atmosphere while there is a relationship between cycles and ice ages. But greenhouse gas is known to be an important tool to get out of the ice age. The world is said to be warming with CO2 from volcanoes that ended some ice ages. 3. The location of the continents. You may wonder how the continents can affect the ice age, but the continents and oceans interact with each other. For example, the water is warmer at the equator than at the poles, and if you block this hot water with the land, the glaciers at the poles begin to expand. As the growing glaciers reflect more sunlight, the glaciers automatically expand further. Since the world today has a continent above the South Pole and an almost landlocked ocean above the North Pole, geologists believe that the Earth will continue to experience glacial periods in the geologically near future. And the other thing that helps cool the world is the Himalayas. The Himalayas are reducing the warming of the Earth by absorbing CO2. 4. Fluctuations in ocean currents. It is also related to the location of the continents. According to a study published in Nature in 2021, all glacial periods of ice ages over the past 1.5 million years have been associated with northward shifts of melting Antarctic icebergs, which altered ocean circulation patterns, resulting in more CO2 being pulled from the atmosphere. Also, the authors suggest that this process may be interrupted in the future, as the Southern Ocean will become too warm for icebergs to travel far enough to trigger these changes. Fluctuations in ocean currents have the ability to cool and heat. Examples of these are to help build Antarctic ice for cooling, and to give the British Isles a temperate rather than northern climate for heating. Another example of cooling is said to have begun, especially with the closing of the Isthmus of Panama 3 million years ago. 5. Volcanism. Volcanoes are emitting an incredible amount of CO2 into the air and warming the Earth. But if this is a big volcanic eruption, dust clouds cover the Earth and the Earth begins to cool because it cannot receive light. This is actually not a very old event, and it actually gave us an idea of what would happen to the world if there was a big volcanic eruption. The event I'm talking about is the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815. With this explosion, world temperatures dropped and harvests decreased because the plant could not see the sun. In fact, the year 1816 is called the year without summer. Now we understand how the world entered the ice age. Do you know why ice ages are important for the world? Ice ages are an important tool to increase genetic diversity in the world. How does? As the Earth warms, living things scatter towards the poles and move away. As the Earth cools, living things retreat towards the equator and genetic diversity increases. That's why ice ages are important to species diversity around the world. Let's go back to the last ice age and see what the world was like. The last ice age began 2.6 million years ago and ended 10,000 years ago. The world is currently in an interglacial period called the Holocene. During the last ice age, 3 to 4 kilometers of ice sheet formed and sea level decreased by 120 meters. In summary, we looked at the last ice age and how it happened. For now, humanity has prevented or slowed down the ice age with artificial climate change. Apart from this, we saw how a volcanic eruption changed the climate, especially at a time when news of volcanic eruptions increased. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Bye.